So first game of the Bomb Squad versus Aces, really thought that my team was going to pull it off, 7-0 lead. I did really well pitching and hitting, and so then I put Dylan in so I could at least close the second game and then pitch the third game, and he did pretty bad, and he let in 5 runs, and then I came in and George hit a grand slam off me. So very unfortunate for me, but tough loss for my team. Huge win for the Aces. So I mean, Brandon got his first strikeout of the season, so I'm glad that happened, but there wasn't very many. It's not very much to talk about besides just tough loss for my team. But yeah, on to the second game. So to start off the game, Brecken's pitching and Grayson is leadoff hitter. And right off the bat, no pun intended, Grayson hits a fly ball right to center field, but thankfully I can get there. I catch it for 1 out. And Brandon continues to impress by getting on base with another walk. Brecken attempts to throw a drop ball on a 5-1 pitch and misses. Ball 6. Runners on first and second with Grayson up to bat. 1 out. Well, a lot happens here. I call Brecken off, but Brecken takes the ball away, so I have to cover the bag, and then he just makes a bad throw. Brandon scores. I throw it, trying to get him on at home, which advances the runners from first and second to second and third. 1 run scored, so 1 run scored. Runners on second and third with Brandon up to bat. Brecken still pitching. And Brandon gets hit for ball 6. Bases are loaded with George up to bat. And on the full count pitch, he walks in. 1 run scored with Grayson back up to bat, bases loaded. On a 1-2 count, Grayson hits a ground ball right to me. But luckily I'm there and I step on the mound for 2 outs. That ends the inning, going into the bottom of the first. So the starting pitcher is Grayson Billhorn. The leadoff hitter is me. First pitch is a ball. So I draw a leadoff walk to put a runner on first with Brecken up to bat. Brecken comes up to bat with an extremely long at bat. 2, 3, 4, 5, foul ball. 6, another foul ball. 7, another foul ball. And 8, he actually puts the ball in play here, and he grounds out. Runners on second, 1 out. So a pretty difficult play to break down, but Dylan hits the ball right to George. George looks at me first and then throws to Grayson. Dylan's safe at first. Grayson tries to peg me. He misses, so I take home, scoring a run, and Dylan stays at first for some reason when he should have taken second, but he's at first nonetheless. He got 1 out with me up to the bat and Dylan on first. For the full count pitch, he walks me. Runners on first and second with Brecken up to bat. Brecken's up, and he hits a ground ball right to Brandon, but Brandon bobbles it again, and then he just stands there. An error on Brandon to put bases loaded with Dylan up to bat. With the full count pitch, Dylan hits a line drive right to the fence. Scores 1 run, and Brecken's coming home. It scores 2 runs. So that puts 2 runs in. 3-2, Bomb Squad. Well, I'm up and I unload on 1.
Foul.
But it carries foul, so they call it a foul ball. So I'm down to an 0-2 count, and I end up putting the barrel on the ball, and my bat flipped for some reason. It only hits the fence. But I do score 2 runs, and our runner goes to second base. Brecken's up fouling 5 balls off, but he ends up striking out in the end. 2 outs in the inning. Dylan starts off doing what he does best, which is walking people. And he walks another one. This time Dylan gets him to a full count pitch, and it makes the zone, and he strikes him out. 1 out. Brandon's up to bat with runners on first and second. Well, he ends up walking Brandon and make it bases loaded. But he only needs one more out and he can get out of the inning with George up to bat. He gets George to a 3-2 count and he strikes him out to end the inning. Dylan puts a barrel on this one, but right to Brandon. And for some reason, Brandon made that play a lot harder than it had to be, but he is still out of first base. From an 0-2 count to a full count pitch, he ends up walking. Quick pickup montage real quick. Right after pickup montage, Brecken hits a ground ball right to George, and he makes the play to the end of the inning. So first pitch, Grayson grounds out to Brecken, 1 out, and then if you fast forward, the very next pitch, Brandon hits a missile, a moonshot up in the air. And I somehow make the grab through the sun with a 2-pitch inning for Brecken Billhorn. What a performance. First pitch, Dylan hits a fly ball very similar to my hit, and George does not end up coming down with it. So a single on an error from Dylan, error on George. Grayson gives him a meatball right here, but I roll over right to Grayson, and Grayson tries to turn it over play, but he misses, which, after enough threes, Dylan takes third base. Runner on third with 1 out. So Brecken hits the ball and is surprisingly well positioned to where Grayson can't see the ball, and Brecken's safe. Dylan should have went home because there was 1 out, but he doesn't. And so now we have runners on first and third. So Dylan gets walked to put bases loaded with 1 out and me up to bat. So they end up putting Brandon in, and I hit a pretty deep fly ball that I know is not going to be caught, but apparently it hits Brecken. We all think it didn't, but he says it hit Brecken. Grayson says it hit Brecken, so we go into review, and we end up not being able to figure out if it hit him or not, so we just play it back, and I end up striking out. So since I didn't record an out in the 4th inning of last game, I get to pitch 1 full game and then 1 inning. So I'm using that 1 inning right now for the last inning of the second game. And so I get George in a full count pitch and strike him out. Strike 3, 1 out, 1 more out, and the game is over. So I get 2 strikes on Grayson, and I throw my nasty slow pitch and I strike him out to end the game.